And there it is. The end of the game. Oh, man. What a game. Oh, my goodness. Oh, look at me dropping frames on the very end of the game. And here I thought I was going to be in a safe spot. Oh, man. Oh, man. Oh, man. All right. Well, I definitely gotta say 100% that Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 1 or Episode 1, whatever, the very first entry into the remakes, I dig it a lot. It is so good. It is so good. You know, it's fantastic. That's basically my overall thoughts. It's fantastic. Story wasn't satisfying. So I mentioned at the very beginning of this playthrough that I went into this just wanting to see what changed. I was pretty certain that it was going to be an enjoyable game, and so I wasn't looking for it to be good or better than the original or anything like that. I just wanted to see the changes, and I feel like I got a really cool combat system. I got really good character development where there wasn't in the original game, and we got to see so many new things that weren't in the original game that I can't help but feel that this game is pretty awesome. And the story as a whole, you know, I feel like it was satisfying. I do think that the game does end, you know, at the bridge, you know. I mean, yeah, you get to do all that cosmic craziness, but, you know, I mean, like, the story's basically over with at that point. Fantastic, though. Absolutely wunderbar. Did it feel complete? I mean, that's kind of a tough thing to say. Oh yeah, we saw Biggs, but we didn't see Jessie. Best girl. Come on, man. I think I would probably have to say that it doesn't feel complete with the knowledge that I have of Final Fantasy VII, you know, OG version. Other than that, I would say that this game did a decent job. You know, it left on a cliffhanger. You know, they gotta go stop Sephiroth. They didn't stop Sephiroth. But blah, just blah. All right. How was the pacing? I think the pacing was all right. I don't think I had any issues with the pacing that I can think of. Yeah, I think I'll just go with that. Let's see, thoughts on the story. 6 hours. So I wrote this 6 hours into the game. 6 hours into the game, and the side quests do in fact feel weird. Not because they're typical side quests, but because they're typical side quests that weren't in the original. What I mean by that is, the game wanted to create a more expansive rendition of Final Fantasy VII, and it didn't add meaningful character-driven side quests. I'm chasing cats or exterminating monsters with little relevance to anything. It's weird. I really think that and that's an awkward part of Final Fantasy VII Remake, is that they wanted to make the game bigger in that regard, and we did get a bigger game of the Midgar section, but the side quests just feel kind of like one of those why, and not like why in a bad way, but like, why didn't you make them character-driven side quests? You know, have us do side quests with Biggs, Wedge, Jessie, you know, like the important characters to the story, and have us get to know them, and then when they end up dying, we feel just that much closer to those characters. So I feel like that was a huge missed opportunity. And I think the side quests were also just I guess a missed opportunity in that regard as well. The writing, I actually liked the writing. I didn't have any issues with the writing. I thought there were plenty of comedic moments, some funny moments. There were some nice and serious moments. There were a lot of moments that I recognized. There were a lot of scenes that they expanded on that I recognized. I liked the writing. Characters, I don't think there was a single character that I disliked. I was really happy that they expanded upon a lot of the characters that you don't really get to see in the Midgar section, like Hojo and things like that. Like you really get a sense like, man, this guy is crazy. And even Sephiroth. Sephiroth is not anywhere in the Midgar section, and you get to see a lot of them. Let's see. For gameplay mechanics and design, what gameplay elements stand out? The way skill points are handled makes me a very happy person. Not having to grind weapons means I can choose the weapon I feel is best at any moment, and it's wonderful. I love that when you get your skill points or weapon points or whatever it is, that the experience for your weapons, it applies to every single weapon. I love that. Being able to customize however I see fit is the best possible thing that you could do in that scenario, and they did that. So, thumbs up. Having a completely separate slot for summon materia is amazing. I am pretty happy that I don't have to fight my materia slots for summons. I can just choose one summon per character, and I can choose any one of those summons that I want to summon in the battle, as long as a certain criteria is met. I'm not 100% sure on said criteria, but whatever. Giving the screen a red hue when a character is low on HP is obnoxious, and obnoxious when the only non-combat way to remove it is by healing, basically. I hope they kill that. That took a lot away from me. There were some other things that I wanted to add, but life is hard. For combat, 6 hours into the game, combat feels nice and fresh. I love the influence they took from Final Fantasy 15. I will say approximately 40 hours into the game, I think the combat is really nice and fresh, and I really like the influence that they took from Final Fantasy 15. There might be a little bit of Kingdom Hearts influence in there as well. Overall, just a fantastic rendition of the combat. Action-y combats are a little, they could be really good or really bad. And I felt this one was really good. I don't think there were really any flaws with the combat. The kind of pausey feature or whatnot kind of really helped slow things down when it needed it. Dungeons. There really weren't any dungeons that I would say were my favorites or annoying or inflated by backtracking. But there were some practical dungeon design issues kind of all over the place. Like I didn't really understand how some places were supposed to function as a place, but that's just one of my things. Cardinal sins. I didn't really get into this, but it does remove key party members without sufficient replacement. We have to fight solo a bunch of times, and that's just not something that I enjoy. So we're gonna give it that. I'm pretty sure these backup party members don't receive experience, but it looks like they were caught up in experience to where it would be acceptable for that area. So I think that's totally fine. For sound, music is fantastico. I'm not sure I liked all of the remixes per se, but there were some bangers in there. So I'm gonna have to give that OST a listen. Voice acting, great voice acting, especially on characters like Wedge and Jessie. I love the personality that those two characters have. I actually really like Aerith as well. I kind of discussed that a little bit earlier, but I really think they gave her a lot of personality that I wasn't expecting. And I think it really fits her. Like it is her in my eyes, after going through all of this. The lip sync can be a little goofy at times. I would say it's a little goofy quite a bit. I think that's some room for improvement in the subsequent titles. Graphics could be the slums or just the doors in the slums, but some textures are drastically lower resolution than everything else. This really did seem to be like a door thing. I don't know what was going on there, but just something that I noticed. Visuals look fantastic. I think the UI is great too. I had a pretty swell time kind of looking around at things. Some of the backdrops and like the skyboxes and things like that. I was quite pleased with those. Replay value. I don't know, but I'm gonna lean towards the camp of there's probably no replay value in this. I accomplished quite a bit, and if I felt like grinding, I think I could have accomplished basically everything. There's only a few things that I see myself wanting to replay the game for, and that's like early game steals, assuming there's a new game plus. But as far as a new story experience or something like that, I have not seen any evidence in my playthrough to suggest that is possible, basically. And if the developer is watching, I think we outlined some things while we were chatting much earlier, like yesterday, about how the subsequent entries are going to work. And I think that is the biggest question mark. How are you going to handle wanting to go back to Midgar when everything that happens in Midgar is, the first game? How are you going to handle other places like the Golden Saucer, that you can go to multiple times in the original game? How many pieces are you going to break the game into? There's so many questions, but based off of the first entry here of this product, I have some faith that things will be done in a way that I can accept and ultimately be happy with. As long as if it keeps the same quality that we got here, I think we have a winner, a winning series rather. I really hope that we do get the titles in a pretty quick fashion, and I'm also hoping that when they do get released, I hope the PS4 isn't abandoned. I hope we get, double platform releases, PS4, PS5. But as far as the game that we got here, I'm extremely happy with it. And I can't wait to see what the next entry is going to expand upon from the original game. So in that regard, I'm very happy with the game. And just to recap my final or my overall thoughts, I think the game is fantastic. And I don't think I got any more to say about that. And I guess we're just going to let these credits roll. I will say that being able to fight Sephiroth in this game was pretty cool. I was wondering if they were going to actually use the One-Winged Angel music, and we got that. And the Sephiroth fight was not only cool thematically, but cool mechanically as well. I really felt like we got to do some pretty cool things in there, and there was multiple phases, and that Rufus fight too was pretty cool. I like that one. That one was, like, all right, I gotta think on this one. Do I gotta counter? Do I gotta use spells? And he's got that dog with him and stuff like that. Oh my goodness. Had a real good time with this. I don't think I got anything else to say though. Yeah. I imagine these credits are going to go on for quite some time. I imagine this game is gargantuan. It's been in development for a really long time. And yeah. But if we're going through the end of the game on these little slides or whatever, you know, we might almost be there. Yeah. It's always awkward when the credits run longer than what I have to say. Yeah. Oh, mini games. I'll talk about mini games, at least for a couple of seconds. I was extremely happy with the mini games in here. In the original Final Fantasy VII, most of the mini games, if not all of the mini games, I wasn't a big fan of. They were just kind of obnoxious, and you know, you had to do them, and they were just obnoxious. But in this game, I really feel like they took a fresh take with the mini games, and they kept them familiar, but they updated them. They made them, you know, they're not 20 years old anymore. You know, they're mini games that you could expect in a next gen environment, I guess. So that was a really nice thing as well. Yeah. Those seconds are over. And maybe the credits will be too. Because all the pictures are gone. But it's not looking like it. Oh, no, they only show this stuff at the very, very end. All right. I will say this is a longer game than I was expecting too. This took me approximately 40 hours, if not 40 hours, to beat, and that's crazy. You know, if you remove all the side quests, it's probably like 6 hours or so. So that's you know, like 34, 35 hours of Midgar. You know, this is gonna be crazy for the rest of it. This is gonna be insane. So yeah. All right. Chapter selection has now been unlocked. Open the main menu and access chapter selection to replay any chapter from the beginning using your current characters, weapons, and materia. This is a great way to tackle uncompleted quests, follow or find story elements you missed through the first playthrough, and more thoroughly explore Midgar. Hard difficulty is now unlocked and can be selected by going to the chapter selection and playing one of the chapters. In this difficulty, items cannot be used, and only HP is restored at rest points. However, certain manuscripts are only available in this difficulty setting. Oh dear. A record of your adventure can be viewed in System Play Log in the main menu. The log contains information from the battle records to story branches. Bonus EXP and AP. You will now earn twice as much EXP and 3 times as much AP. A new combat simulator has become accessible in Hojo's lab. To test it out, select Chapter 7 from Chapter Selection. The bike minigame can now be skipped from the pause menu. Cool. Cool. Save. See what our final time is. "41 hours, 15 minutes. All right. Well, that's going to be it for me for today. I need to cut up an 11 and a half hour VOD, and I need to upload that. I might take tomorrow off so that I can accomplish this, but you know, we'll see. If I do stream tomorrow, but it'll be at 6 o'clock p.m. Pacific. If not, I'll see you the next time I see you, probably Tuesday. But yeah, thanks for watching. Appreciate it. See you the next time I see you. Peace.